please do not say anything. You have a right to remain silent.
Okay.
So I'm pulling up the case. It's a 21 CR case, so the bond order was not filed in that case, but I could check her most recent case to see if there was no weapons, drugs, and alcohol on that, the 23 CR.
Okay.
So in her most recent case, there was not a condition of no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, but it says to remain compliant with medication, and she was to be released to a Miss Pauline Reed. I don't know if there's mental health MH, but those conditions certainly lend to MH concerns.
Okay. So on this case, it's going to be, Ms. Kim, a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from 2500 Jasmine Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So Ms. Clark, I'm going to let you out, but you have to not have anything further alcoholic to drink. If we find out that you do, this bond is going to be revoked, okay?
Yes, sir. I have a
All
question
right.
about returning back to my home.
Do you live at the Jasmine Parkway address?
Yes, Your Honor. 2511 Jasmine Parkway is her residency, and she's the one who has
Oh, okay.
Okay, I
I'm
was
not-
uncertain about the fact, but that's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not going to keep you from your home, Ms. Clark, so you can go back there, okay?
Thank you,
All right.
Your Honor.
Good luck to you, ma'am.
Position number 26, Ms. Witt.
Good afternoon, Ms. Witt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004079H with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
For Witt, 25 total. Last was 2019 theft by shoplifting. Got an open shoplifting and obstruction, 15 SC 136537. That's kind of old. DeKalb County got an open disorderly conduct, 2018, 2016 probation, 2015, 2014 probation, and a 2011 battery conviction. That's it.
Okay. Who's presenting?
Honor.
Yes, pronounce your last name, I'm sorry.
Nimini.
Nimini, good afternoon, Ms. Nimini. You can proceed.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. This offense happened June 28th, 2023 at 72 Thayer Avenue Southeast. Officers arrived at the mentioned location. Upon arrivals, officers spoke with Ms. Carolyn Lewis, the victim and the mother of defendant, and they were advised that defendant and Ms. Lewis got into a physical dispute due to defendant spitting on Ms. Lewis. Ms. Lewis also claims that the defendant had been drinking tequila that day, and her mother, Ms. Lewis, was trying to get her to stop drinking prior to this incident. Additionally, Ms. Lewis was able to produce video footage in which the officers reviewed where defendant was inside the home yelling and holding a bottle of alcohol. Defendant could also be heard telling her mother, Ms. Lewis, and I quote, B word, and yelling, I don't give a blank. Additionally, the footage shows Ms. Lewis stating to defendant, call me a bleep. Again, that is when defendant was seen spitting in her mother's face, who in turn pushed her, and the two began tussling right before the footage ends. Considering that the defendant has numerous failures to appear and numerous probation violation, the state does recommend a $1,500 surety bond with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further violent contact with Ms. Lewis. And I would like to sound for Ms. Lewis when it's appropriate.
Okay, and you're asking for no further violent contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Kim? You're on mute, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry about that. Mr. Witt is 31 years old and he is a single. He graduated from high school. He wants to keep his job. We want to make sure that he gets a signature on bond and no further violent contact. We totally have no objection. Thank you.
It's gonna be a $1,500 good bond, no further violent contact with Ms. Lewis. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Witt.
Your Honor,
Next
may
is
we
the court.
sound if we need interpreter for Eastern language or no?
Okay, so
My client does not need, but I just wanted to make sure that the witness, whether witness needs or not.
okay, so first of all, tell me who this is.
This is the Karam case.
Is this the 14?
Yes,
Okay,
and I believe that I see Karam on the screen.
okay, and what language?
Urdu. Urdu.
Say it again.
Urdu, URDU.
Okay. And Madam Interpreter, if you will sound and ask if anyone needs an interpreter for the court, please.
यहाँ पर किसी को जरूरत है उर्दू से इंग्लिश और इंग्लिश से उर्दू की? किसी को भी जरूरत है?
Okay, and there is someone on the video with Karam. Would you inquire as to whether they're going to wish to speak during this hearing?
और यहाँ जो भी मिस करम के साथ आया है या उनके लिए आया है, उनको कोई हेल्प की जरूरत है लैंग्वेज के लिए, उर्दू लैंग्वेज के लिए?
Okay,
I don't
and-
hear.
All right, and
No.
I see. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Are you able to speak English?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And so therefore, I do not think that we need Madam Interpreter on the line. We so appreciate you staying with us, Madam Interpreter. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You all have a
Okay.
nice day and a wonderful weekend.
You do the same, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Karam. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Counter that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Okay, courtroom 2, if you could unmute.
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004089F with hindering a person making an emergency telephone call. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 2020 ag assault terrorist threats. That's open in Superior Court. 23 SC 187091.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 680 Wellingboro Court in Johns Creek, Fulton County, Georgia. They spoke to the victim in this case, Mr. Hassan. He is the husband of the defendant. He advised the law enforcement officers that him and his wife were having a verbal disagreement about childcare. He was trying to take their child to the park. At that time, his wife became angry and she physically attacked him. He attempted to call 911, but at the time she did snatch the phone out of his hand. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Mr. Karam Hassan, and a stay away from the incident location. And the victim is on the line, so I would ask that the court sound for him if he would like to provide a statement.
Do you have, Mr. Walker, any information for the court on this aggravated assault and terror
I'm
threats?
looking up as we speak, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Assad. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand and I'll have to swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, sir. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court?
Actually, I just want to add this. She was very angry at me, and she threw my office phone, and it got broken.
Okay,
And that was the phone which I was using to make a call. That was the phone I had that time.
and did you call the police in this matter?
I did call police, but she disconnected the call. She threw the phone on the floor, and then they called me back, and they asked me what's the situation.
Has this type of incident happened in the past?
Yes, like previously, as the solicitor was mentioning, back in 2020.
That's
Okay,
correct, Your Honor. He's the victim in the aggravated assault, and there is no contact with him. So she was in violation of the felony case.
all right. So, Mr. Assad, you understand that that you and is Miss Farzine Karam, is that your wife?
Yes,
Okay, and another court has already ordered that you all to have no contact. Do you understand that?
yes. I don't
Okay.
have the notice, but yeah,
Okay,
I
all
I
right,
just came to know today.
all right. Anything further, sir?
No, not for this particular case.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Kim?
Yes, my client is 38 years old. She's from Pakistan. Oh, and she had 3 children with Mr. Karam, 14, 5, and 10 months old, Your Honor. My client is very, very smart. She's a physician at Emory Hospital. She was working there. However, because of the newborn baby, 10-month-old baby, she is not working at this point. About last 2 years, she was not able to work. But she does have an MD, and Your Honor, she's been here in Georgia for the last 15 years, and she does have a job offer to go back, and they want her for full time, and she wants to go back and work. However, because of the culture, and there's a lot of pressure for her to stay home, to be a stay-home mom, and she wants to break out of that stereotypical role so she can be more, she can have a more independence. And yet there's a lot of objections from her husband. And Your Honor, my client was actually a victim of long-term domestic violence. And for a last case that is open, which my client is presumed to be innocent, she was not convicted. She was the very victim. However, she is the one who is falsely accused, and because she wanted to protect herself and her children, Your Honor. And my client says that Mr. Karam was not taking a kid to the park. It was different situation. Anyway, we would like to request for signature on bond and no further contact. My client complies. She's willing to comply that, and she's willing to stay away from him. As long as she gets third-party transfer for her 3 children, she would be fine not to have any contact with him. Thanks.
And I just want to make it clear, she's not the victim in the other case, she's the defendant, and there's also a charge of cruelty to children. So we will be objecting to any third-party transfer.
Okay, so Mr. Walker, do you have the underlying bond? You said that there was a no further contact and a stay away.
Yeah, it was a stay away from a different address, so presumably they have moved. But let me get the bond amounts. It was a $30,000, okay. 25,000 signature bond and then a $5,000 surety bond.
Okay.
It was 5,000 on the cruelty to children. So it was a split bond.
Okay, and there was a stay away from Mr. Karam
No
Assad?
contact, that's correct, no contact with the victim.
Okay, and did it say anything about the children?
It did not, it just said no contact and a stay away from the incident location, no drugs, a one-time visit to pick up belongings.
And the 680, what's the stay away that you're requesting, Mr. Walker?
That is correct, that is their current address.
680 what?
Wellingboro Court in
Can
John
you,
Street,
can you spell that for me?
WELLINGBROUGH Court, Johns Creek, Georgia.
Okay, thank you. So Ms. Kim,
Yes,
your client has already been instructed to stay away or to have no further contact with Mr. Assad Karam. Okay, so that's from another court. She's not to have any contact with him whatsoever. That's going to be the order of this court also. She is also to stay away from the 680 Wellingboro Court. No contact, just put your hand down, ma'am, please. No contact means absolutely no contact whatsoever. Okay, it means no physical contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. If that order had been followed in the underlying case, we might not be here for this case. So there's to be no further contact and stay away from the Wellingboro Court address. I'm going to take the solicitor's recommendation of a $2,000 good bond, along with the no further contact, to stay away, and the no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I am always reticent to keep a mother or a father from their children. So there will be third-party transfer for visitation of any minor children. And I'll let some other court, if you all choose necessary, to work out arrangements, but this order will be third-party contact for visitation.
Your
All
Honor,
right.
can my client have one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve her personal belongings?
Okay, let me just say she should not need a one-time escort because she should not have been at that address to begin with. I will allow a one-time escort in case she does have any belongings at that address. But given the underlying order, there shouldn't have been any contact to begin with. But I will allow her to get any belongings that she has there. Your client has her hand up, Ms. Kim.
Ms. Karam, please call me if you have any question.
One thing, there is a misunderstanding.
I strongly recommend you not to speak.
Ma'am, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You might think that what you're going to say is going to help you, but you have solicitors here, and people often think that what they say will help them when in actuality it hurts their case. So I'll let you speak with Ms. Kim at a later time so that you can explain anything you need to explain to her.
Yes.
Your Honor, the 680 Wellingboro Court is my house, and Mr. Karam Hassan was visiting my house from his previous residence. So it's actually my residence, and he was there to help with the kids.
Okay, well, is that correct, Mr. Assad?
That is not correct. Actually, we both, I paid off the loan for the house. So technically it's both of our house, like, but I mean, she.
Where do you live, sir? Do you live
I live in this address only.
at 680?
That is correct, yeah.
Oh, okay. Since he lives there, she can't go back there. Okay. All right. Good luck to you, ma'am. You also, Mr. Assad.
Next, you have position 25, Mr. Weaver.
Good afternoon, Mr. Weaver. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004088C with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and simple assault. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2016 armed robbery.
Okay, yes, Ms. Nimini?
Yes, Your Honor. This event happened yesterday, June 29th of this year at 2118 DeForest Ferry Road Northwest at a Shell gas station. Officers were dispatched to the mentioned location and they spoke with the victim, Mr. Santo Chowdhury. Mr. Chowdhury stated that he and the defendant were in a verbal argument about the location's restroom, and defendant brandished a handgun walking around the store with it in his hand. At the time, the barrel of the gun was pointed towards the floor, but Mr. Chowdhury did say that he did fear that he was in imminent danger. Upon the officer's arrival, defendant was reversing out of the parking space at the location, and he was advised to exit out of the vehicle. Once detained, officers conducted a search in which they found a plastic bag of marijuana in the left pocket of the defendant, in addition to a black bag with a scale commonly used to package marijuana, and a Glock 22 Generation 4 handgun under the driver's seat of the car that driver was in. Considering that the bond is currently $600 for the possession of marijuana, the state does ask for $1,000 surety bond. And currently for the simple assault, bond is currently at $2,000, but the state is asking for $15,000 surety bond. No alcohols, drugs, or weapons, to stay away from the location. No further contact with Mr. Chowdhury. Yes, that is all, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Weaver is 24 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. Your Honor, he got a job about 2 months ago at Home Depot. He stocks the trucks, and he graduated from high school. And Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond for marijuana. Usually most of marijuana possession charges, they're dismissed or NOD gets filed. I really think signature bond is due for that charge. For simple assault, Your Honor, we would like to ask for a signature on bond, and yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we ask for $1,000 maximum bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
For the possession, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the simple assault, a $4,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Forest Ferry Road address. No further contact with Mr. Chowdhury, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Which means, Ms. Kim, that if Mr. Weaver has a firearm, that he is going to have to relinquish it.
Oh, question.
Mr. Weaver, please, you got the SOB signature on bond through jail, so that's the best. Please do not say anything, and you don't hurt your case. And you may want to surrender your weapons. That's
That's what I don't know where it is. Once he took it from me, like the police, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it's at the annex or not.
Okay, well, he'll have to, if he gets it back, he cannot get it back, Ms. Kim.
okay.
All right, who do we have next? Good luck to you, sir.
Position 28, right?
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that were conducted by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, you've been charged in case 23 CR 004099E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Seventh arrest, last was June 2022. Battery DV, ag assault, cruelty, 22 CP 210306, and an open identity theft fraud out of Royston, Georgia.
Ms. Nemini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday, June 29th of 2023 at 1 Interlock Avenue Northwest. Officers arrived at the mentioned location and spoke with the victim, Ms. Taylor Aziz, who shares a child, a daughter, with the defendant. Upon arrival, the officers were advised that defendant punched Ms. Aziz in her right eyes with a closed fist forcibly, which resulted in a black and swollen eye due to the defendant seeing something on his daughter's iPad. The interaction was also captured on the officer's body cam. Considering that there has been a lack of cooling off period since this incident happened yesterday, and that this is a repeated offense from the 222 CP case, which involved battery, family violence, ag assault, and strangulation. The state is requesting $5,000 a surety bond, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, family violence intervention program, and stay away from the 1 Interlock Avenue Northwest.
And Ms. Aziz is the alleged victim in the aggravated assault and battery case?
For the current one, Your Honor, or the
No,
present?
no, for the.
No, Your Honor, it's a different victim.
Okay, so, okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright is 27 years old. He was born in Ohio. However, he moved to Georgia almost immediately. So he is kind of like a Georgia person. He's been here for a long time. Your Honor, my client, after graduating from high school, he got associate degree, and he is currently working with her mother and as a salon owners. They are self-employed. They have been operating salon for the last 4 years. And his mother is actually getting sicker and sicker. So my client is being a caregiver and / taking care of his 12 years old sister as a big brother, Your Honor. They do not live together. The alleged complaining witness and my client does not live together, and my client has no objection to stay away from stay away from her and no further contact with her, as long as he gets a third-party transfer for his child, 2 years old daughter. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we ask for maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
It's gonna be a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Aziz, stay away from the 1 Interlock Avenue address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. Does he need to go to the Interlock Avenue address for any reason, Ms. Kim?
No, Your Honor.
All
He
right.
does not
Good
live
luck.
there.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Position 27, Wilson. Don't sit in the front row.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004083G with driving while your license was suspended or revoked and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8th arrest, 2017 probation. That's it.
Ms. Nimini?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday, June 29th at Washington Road and Jackson Street. Officers conducted a traffic stop in which they checked the vehicle's tag. That was that defendant owns the vehicle. It was confirmed that his driver's license had been suspended from November of 2015. Defendant was removed and arrested, and the officers smelled the odor of marijuana from the passenger cabin of the vehicle. They searched the vehicle and found a plastic baggie in the center console containing 25 grams of marijuana. Considering that the defendant is a repeated offender, he has failure to appear 8 times, and his driver's license has been suspended since November of 2015. The state is asking for 11,000 surety bond, 1,000 for each count, no alcohols, drugs, or weapons, and no driving.
All right. It's going to be a $500 signature bond on each count, which makes for a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and of course, no driving without a valid license. Is that fine with you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Wilson.
I'm sorry, Judge, I stepped away. What is his bond?
It's 500 signature bond through the jail on each charge, so 1,000 signature bond through the jail total.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 24, Torres.
Good afternoon, Mr. Torres Guerrero. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004100G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, all he got is drugs. He on probation for meth possession. He don't have any violence.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So on June 20th, 2023, officers responded to 5400 Roswell Road to a domestic dispute call. Upon arrivals, officer met with Ms. Deheza, and that's spelled Deheza, who advised officers that her boyfriend got upset because she asked him a simple question. He then began throwing and breaking things in the apartment, including his own medicine. Further, he picked up the victim's cell phone and broke it on the bathroom counter. He then placed both hands on her shoulder and neck and shoved her against the wall, restricting her movement. Officers observed visible red marks on her neck. For those reasons, the state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Deheza, and a stay away from 5400 Roswell Road.
Ms. Deheza, have you had contact with her?
We have not had contact with her, Your Honor.
Okay, and do you know who she is to Mr. Torres Guerrero?
That's his girlfriend.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, they have been dating for about 2 years. They do not have any children, Your Honor, but they went to school together. My client, after he graduated from high school, he went to UGA, very good school. He studied management of information system. He's about to be junior, but he's taking a short break because of health reason. Currently, he has a diabetes, and Your Honor, inside of the jail, his blood sugar level went up to 400 over 3 times. That is very, very dangerous. And I really, really pray that he gets a signature on bond so he can get out of the jail and take care of his body. Your Honor, he is working at restaurant as a server. He actually, the place that they live together is brother's place, my client's brother's place. So if Ms. Deheza returns to school or moves out, I want my brother to go back to his brother's place. Thank you. We ask for signature on bond, and we're okay with no further contact as long as he gets returned to his place when she moves out.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact at this time with Ms. Deheza. Stay away from the Roswell Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement. If Ms. Deheza has moved out, he can stay there. If she has not moved out, then he is going to have to find somewhere else to stay until, if and when she does move out, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Is that clear, Ms. Kim? Will you make that clear to him?
Yes.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Torres Guerrero.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 23, Tate.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tate. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes,
Thank you. Mr. Tate, you've been charged in case 23 CR 004081J with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howell?
10th arrest, 2021, simple assault, entering auto. 2016 disorderly conduct conviction, 2015 FTA. That's it.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident took place back on September 27th of 2021, where officers were dispatched to 530 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. Upon arrivals, officer met with the victim, Miss Alexis Smith. Miss Smith advised officers that her live-in boyfriend, the accused, attacked her. She stated that the accused pulled her hair and snatched her in the car and hit her a couple of times as she tried to get out of the vehicle. There was a witness to this incident. For those reasons, the state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond and no further contact with Ms. Alexis Smith.
Excuse me, Mr. Bartels?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I have spoken with Mr. Tate. He does deny the allegation. He indicates that it was a verbal argument, but he denies all the other allegations that are in the warrant. He was employed recently, it was employed full-time at LSG Warehouse. He was just recently laid off from that job, but will be actively looking for another job. He has lived in Atlanta all his life. This is his birthplace. He's got parents, siblings, and extended family in the metro Atlanta area, so he has ties to the community. I am advised that he has not had contact with Ms. Smith recently. I'm advised that they don't live together at this time and have not for some time. So no further contact order would not be an issue. And we would ask for a $1,500 good bond if he doesn't qualify for a signature bond.
He has no reason to go back to the Joseph E. Lowry address?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Smith. Stay away from the Joseph E. Lowry address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your
Good
Honor.
luck to you, Mr. Tate.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Good luck, Mr. Tate. Thank you.
22 Simmons.
Good afternoon, Mr. Simmons. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Simmons, you've been charged in case 23 CR 004080C with cruelty to children, 3rd degree, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, and battery against a female who is pregnant. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. Last arrest was in May. Douglas County for trespass. That's open. Got an open case in Montgomery, Alabama, shoplifting, another shoplifting, burglary. 2023 obstruction, giving false name. 2018 probation violation. That's it.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident took place on June 29th of 2023 at 4 p.m. where the victim, the defendant's girlfriend, Miss Sophia Jackson, advised officers that the defendant struck her in the face after dropping him off at work. Your Honor, he jumped through an open window and began assaulting her while she was 7 months pregnant in the presence of their kids, S. Simmons, B. Simmons, K. Simmons, and B. Simmons again. The children could be heard crying in the background while the victim was on the phone with 911. And Your Honor, all of this stemmed because she told the defendant that she was moving back to to Alabama. For those reasons, the state is going to ask for a $5,000 surety bond, and that is to be $1,000 on the cruelty to children, $1,000 on the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and then $3,000 for the battery against a pregnant female, and no further contact with Ms. Sophia Jackson. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Bartels?
Yes, Your Honor. I have spoken with Mr. Simmons. He is 26 years old. He indicates that he's been in the metro Atlanta area for 5 years, and he has family in the metro Atlanta area, including his mother and his aunt. So he does have ties to the community. I'm advised that he is employed full-time at Altium Packaging. He is a machine operator and works in the warehouse there. So he's employed. He does have ties to the community. He does deny the allegations that are in the warrant. And the warrant for the obstruction, I'm a little bit curious. It said that he was hiding from police, but it doesn't say exactly what he was doing. He indicates that this was at his workplace and he did not know that the police were there looking for him. I don't believe that there's an affirmative duty to, come on out and meet the police. And again, he indicates he didn't know that they were looking for him anyway. So we would at least ask the court to consider a signature bond on the obstruction charge. If he doesn't qualify for a signature bond on the other two charges, we would ask for a $2,000 bond on the battery and $1,000 on the cruelty to children. I'm advised that he and Ms. Smith are not living together. He does not intend to have contact with her, so a no further contact order would not be an issue.
And for the cruelty, it's going to be a $500 good bond. For the willful obstruction, a $500 good bond. For the battery, a $3,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with Sophia Jackson. I'm always reticent to keep a father away from his children. As such, there will be third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 21, Sewell.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Sewell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004078C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2011 burglary dismissed.
Who's presenting for the state? Mr. Jones?
I am, Your Honor. 1 second. This is position 21, correct?
Correct.
All right, Your Honor. So this incident occurred on June 26, 2023. At 6:34, officers responded to 1843 Headland Drive in reference to a fight call. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, Ms. Jasmine Harris, who advised officers that the accused had punched her in the face. Officers then made contact with the accused.
It's like we lost Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I think we lost.
Maybe he's having some issues with the weather.
We can move on to the next case, Judge.
Let's see, maybe Mr. Walker can assist.
I could step in. I'm sorry, I had stepped away. Actually, what position?
Position number 21.
21, yes.
Oh, 1 second.
He was in the middle of the recitation of the facts, Mr. Walker.
Oh, well, if possible, I will still present, but can we come back so I can look it up right quick?
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Sewell. We'll come back to you, sir.
Position 13, Johnson.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court. I'm doing fine, sir. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004090E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
39 total. Last arrest was February, probation. Got an open ag assault, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. 23 SC 187179. 2023 shoplifting, 2022 trespass, shoplifting conviction, and an 04 burglary conviction.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday at the Walgreens at 25 Peachtree Street Southeast. Officers responded to a criminal trespass call at that location. Upon arrivals, the security officer was standing with the defendant in front of the store. The security officer informed the Atlanta PD officer that the defendant had been given a previous trespass warning and provided the officer with the documentation. Due to the fact that the defendant just had a recent conviction for criminal trespass and has several open cases, the state is currently asking for a $2,500 surety bond and a stay away from 25 Peachtree Street Southeast and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Does he need some help with housing, Ms. Wills?
Yes, he does, and I've already sent an email to our social worker for them to speak with him.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna let you out, okay? But you can't go back to that Walgreens, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Don't go back to that Walgreens. Stay
I
away
won't.
from there. We're gonna
I
see if we
won't.
can, okay, we're gonna see if we can get you some help with some housing, sir, okay?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm working on now.
Okay, very good. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, is that fine with you, Ms. Wells? Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
welcome.
Position 4, Dowling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dowling. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You free to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 004087A with cruelty to children in the third and battery against a female who is pregnant. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
You said Dowling?
Yes, position number 4.
All right, fourth arrest, last was in Monroe County, Georgia, on the 28th of this month. Suspended registration. 2019 suspended license, no low. That's it.
Yes, Ms. Stafford.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on February 28th, 2020 at 1000 Logistics Center Drive in Fairburn. Officers were dispatched to that location in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, the victim, Ms. LaCardia Hartman, advised that the defendant had struck her in the face multiple times and then left the scene. She further stated that her 5-year-old child, initials SS, was pretending to be asleep in the back seat of the car and heard and saw the incident. She advised the officers at that time that she was 3 months pregnant. Our office has been able to contact the victim, and she stated that she would be here, and we asked that you sign at the appropriate time for her. She stated that they don't have a violent history, and she's not afraid of the defendant, and that she is upset about this incident, and she does not want to press charges. However, due to the fact that there was a minor child in the back seat, the state is currently asking for $4,000 total surety bond, $2,000 for each count. No further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
And the last name was Hartman, is that right, Ms. Stafford?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. Hartman, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, I need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
First, I'd like to say, my child in the back, she was asleep. She didn't witness anything that happened between us. We had a dispute that day. I want to let the court know I was the aggressor. I did start the altercation we had, and it was a mush in the face. He did not leave any, marks, damages, or abuse. I want to know if we can continue if he cannot have a no contact with me because not have that because he helps me with my.
Okay, so that seems like we've lost Ms. Hartman. Ms. Hartman, we lost you for a minute there.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's this storm I got. But I was just saying that if we can did you hear when I said about my child being asleep? She was.
Yes, I heard that, ma'am.
That'll hurt me in the long run. I need him to continue helping me with our child together we have.
Okay, so this happened back in 2020. Has it happened? Have you all been together since?
Yes, we've been together since, and we were together years before then. And this the only, like I said, this the only confrontation we had that got physical. I did throw the first hit. He was just trying to block. I was upset. He didn't even know that I called law enforcement. He was trying to separate himself from me. And I did state to him that I didn't make a report or call the police. So he didn't even know about this event until, that he had a warrant until he was just arrested. I didn't know my registration was out. I got it fixed, but that was the only reason that he found out about the charge in the first place.
Okay, so you want him to come back. Do you all live together?
But we see each other every day. We planning on moving in together soon.
Okay, you're not afraid of him?
Not at all.
Okay, anything further, ma'am?
If I could ask if the bond could be reduced or because like, we got a lot going on right now. It's like a big hindrance.
Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Wills, if okay with you, it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for the cruelty to children per the judge, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge for the battery, so a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Hartman, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Wills?
It does. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Dowling, and you also, Ms. Hartman.
Thank you. I appreciate it. My birthday is Monday, so I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Okay, happy birthday, ma'am.
Yeah.
Positions 8 and 9, Jackson, have a seat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 004093G with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and in case 23 CR 004094G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
22 total, 2020 shoplifting, trespass, 2019 theft by taking conviction, 2010 burglary, criminal damage to property conviction, and the 2009 trespass conviction. That's it.
Ms. Stafford?
Yes, Your Honor. I will kind of go a little backwards because the facts for
Okay.
position 9 kind of coincide with position 8. So on May 15th, 2023 of this incident occurred, officers responded to the Citgo Gas Food Mart at 490 Fairburn Road Southwest for a trespassers report. Upon arrival, the officers searched the area and the officers observed the defendant on the premises of that location. He immediately hurried across the lot and off of the property. He had previously been issued a criminal trespass warning and stay away orders from that business. The witness that was working that day stated that the defendant had been on the property on that day and had been watching and harassing him. And at one occasion, he actually opened the door to the business and taunted him. Due to the fact that this defendant had been criminal trespassed from this location several times in the past, the state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond and a stay away, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons for position 9. For position 8, this happened 2 days later on May 17, 2023. In the same area, the officer who responded to the criminal trespass saw the defendant, and when the officer asked the defendant to stop to talk to him several times, the defendant ran from him into a wooded area. At this time, the state is asking for a $1,000 surety bond for position 8.
Ms. Wells, does he have a housing issue also?
No, he provided an address for me. And he is currently unemployed though. He reports he's in truck driver school. I did explain to him that he needs to not return to that Citgo or anywhere affiliated. It's my understanding there's multiple businesses there. So he stated that he would stay away.
Mr. Jackson, if I let you out, you know you can't go back to that Citgo. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I let you out and you go back there, you're just gonna be right back here, and I'm not gonna let you out the next time, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so for position 9, the criminal trespass is gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Citgo on Fairburn Road. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And for position 8, the obstruction, $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Judge.
welcome.
Position
welcome.
21, Sewell.
Okay, so you're back with us, Mr. Jones. Let's see, you've gotten as far as Jasmine Harris and Headland Drive, I have.
Yes, Your Honor. So then officers made contact with the accused who admitted to punching the victim in the face because she disrespected him. The victim stated all of this happened because the victim asked the accused girlfriend a question. For those reasons, the state's recommendation for bond is a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Jasmine Harris, and to stay away from 1843 Headland Drive.
And who is Miss Harris to Mr. Sewell?
I do believe that that's his sister.
Brother and sister, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Bartel.
Yes, Your Honor. I've spoken with Mr. Sewell. He's 31 years old. He was born and raised in Atlanta, so he's lived here all of his life. He does have extended family. Well, his mother, his brother and sister, he's got uncle as well. They all live in the metro Atlanta area. I'm advised that his uncle is disabled due to a stroke, and he helps care for his uncle. So his uncle is dependent on him. I'm advised that he works 2 jobs as well. He works full-time at Arby's. I'm sorry, part-time at Arby's and full-time at Chick-fil-A. And he is concerned that if he doesn't get out of jail soon, that he will lose both of those. His history is minimal. As pretrial said earlier, he only has 1 previous arrest. That was a burglary charge in 2011. I looked in Odyssey. That was a Fulton County charge, and it was null pros. So aside from that, he has no other history at all. I'm advised that he can stay somewhere else, so a no further contact order would not be an issue. And based on all that, we would ask the court for a signature bond.
Okay. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Harris. Stay away from the Headland Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And could he have a one-time return with law enforcement to get any belongings he may have?
Of course. You can go back to that location, Mr. Sewell, on 1 occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you have there.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Good luck, Mr. Sewell. And it's my understanding that positions 11 and 12 has been released, that he has been released, Mr. Johnson.
Correct.
Okay, and with that, I believe that concludes the calendar. Ms. Champion, whenever you're ready.
Okay, position number 1 is a $2,000 good bond reset SAP 713. Position number 2 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset further notice. Position number 3 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset further notice. Position number 4 is a total of a $3,000 pretrial bond per judge reset further notice. Position number 5 is a $3,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 6 is a total of a $3,000 pretrial bond per judge reset further notice. Position number 7 is a $2,000 pretrial bond per judge reset further notice. Position number 8 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset further notice. Position number 9 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset further notice. Position number 10 is a $3,000 pretrial bond per judge reset further notice. Position number 11 and 12, defendant was released, reset further notice. Position number 13 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 14 is a $2,000 good bond reset, SAP 713. Position number 15 is a total of a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 16 is a $3,000 pretrial bond per judge, reset further notice. Position number 17 is a total of a $5,000 good bond, reset SAP 713. Position number 18 is a $2,500 good bond, reset SAP 713. Position number 19 is a $5,000 SOB through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 20 is a $2,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. Position 21 is a $3,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. Position 22 is a total of a $4,000 good bond, reset SAP 713. Position 23 is a $3,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. Position 24 is a $3,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. Position 25 is a total of a $5,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. Position 26 is a $1,500 good bond, reset SAP 713. Position 27 is a total of a $1,000 SOB jail, reset further notice. And position 28 is a $3,000 good bond, reset SAP 713. Any questions?
I believe that's it.
Okay,
Glad they put you here today.
thank you all. It's